Hello friend, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are discuss about how we can take input in Spring Boot. As you can know that in Java code we are use scanner classes to take input by the user, but in Spring Boot we have three method. We can say that annotation. We are used to take input from the clients. Okay, so first is request body, and the second is request param, and the third is path variable. So request body is nothing. We are take input from the user in the JSON format, just like key value pair. And in request param, we can take input from the user in key value pair, whereas the path variable only value user can send only value, not the key. Okay, so request body basically achieved by the annotation as the request body, and the request param achieved by the @request param, and path variable basically achieved by the @path variable. So request body is secure. Why? Because of it is not basically visible whenever user send something data to the web server. Basically, it not visible entire the web propagation. Whereas the path variable we can see in our URL like key value form. We can see in path variable. We can also see the what value user sent. Like we can see here like example GitHub. So open GitHub. So here we write github.com, after that slash, and if you have a username, so enter your username like soup/sam. So basically soup/sam is nothing but it's basically the value, only value. Okay, so hit enter. So GitHub is basically work as the as only the key value form. Like after the slash, we are see that subsum is basically the directly value, not key. Okay, so here our path variable is completed. Now the request param. So for request param, we open our edge, and inside edge we open google.com, and go to here and inspect our window. Go to the inspect, and go to the network section, and hit here and search something like prime. Okay, so here inside we can see that search, after the search question mark q is equal to prime, and ampersand cp is equal to 5. So hit here, and we can see that this pop-up is visible. After that URL, request URL, inside the request URL we can say that here google.com/complete/search. So basically after the google.com complete/search is our API endpoint. And now after that the question mark. So after question mark, the all detail is sent by the user, and here user me. So I send q is equal to prime. So we can see here we send prime, and after ampersand cp is equal to 5. Cp means character counter. So prime is basically have 5 count. So here 5, and other is basically the user can send all the data up and in the end of the URL to send our database server. Okay, so that is the basically example of our request param. Okay, so request param we can see, and now the request body. For request body, we go to our IntelliJ ID, and you can see that here some project that is completed in our previous lecture. Okay, and now we going to the make another project that we are here use. So go to the Spring Boot initializer. So is Spring Boot initializer, and here. After that we can see that Spring Boot initializer website is appear, and we also discuss all the syntax, language वगैरह, language lab in our previous video. So we are not discuss here. So our group ID com.organization. Okay, and I make my artifact name as a client input. Okay, and we select as a packaging jar, and here 21 Java edition, and add web dependency. So why web? Because of it's have Tomcat embedded Tomcat server and Spring Boot MVC. Okay, and now generate. After generating it takes some time for downloading. Yeah, so here we can see that client input zip file, and extract this file. So extract all, Okay, now our file is extracted. drop down drop down into the desktop, and now close our window, and now close, and come to the our IntelliJ ID, and go to the open section, and now open, and go to the desktop, and inside the desktop go to the client input section. So cafe, here we can see that our project client input. So select this, and now open, and trust it. So this takes some time because of loading dependencies. Skip. Okay, so our project is basically downloading completed and resolved that dependencies. So inside src we have main, and inside main java file folder, sorry, java folder, and inside the folder com.organization.client input here, and inside that a class that is client input application. So open input client input application. So that is the basically initialize our Spring Boot project section. Okay, so inside the com.organization.client input section we make a class that have demo. So here we make a demo class, demo. Okay, so hit enter, and we are make as a rest controller. So rest controller, and after that we make as a request mapping, request, sorry, R capital, request mapping, mapping, and inside the request mapping we give the our API endpoint. So inside string we slash only the slash, we give slash only the our endpoint. Okay, and after that we take some input from the user. Okay, that class have some student input name. Okay, here make as a, here make a class student, and that in student basically have some detail like a student name. So private string name, and after that a private roll number of student. So roll number have a long type, so roll number is long roll number, and after that email id. So email id is basically string, so private string email. Okay, so that student have this detail. Okay, so making getter setter for these classes. And one more new thing that if you don't want to make a getter setter manually, so go to the browser, and here we add the dependencies that is lombok. So search here lombok, and hit enter. Okay, so go to the explore section, and now scroll down and see the dependency. So here lombok dependency, so copy that dependency, copy, and go to the your project, and inside the project open pom.html, and go to the dependency section. So inside the dependency section, here inside the dependency section paste dependencies that you are copy. Okay, so here maven pop up, and click here. So it's takes some time to resolve your lombok dependency. So I think our lombok dependency is resolved. Now go to the student, inside the student make a annotation data. Okay, so we don't create manually getter setter, we add a dependency that have lombok, and lombok basically make these getter setter manually. Okay, some student have facing some problem like whenever here import data, so give error that give the lombok is not supported, or some type error. So resolve that error, go to the here, and go to the inside the setting, and inside the setting go to the plugin, and here select as a marketplace. Inside the marketplace search lombok. So lombok is here. So make sure that Lombok is basically installed in your IntelliJ IDE. So that is resolve the issue that you're facing in your Spring Boot application. Okay. So we make a getter setter to our student. Now go to the demo section. Inside the demo, we want to the object of our student. So make a student as a component. We can access our student inside the demo. Okay, so inject our student object here. So use AutoWire, and now our class name. Okay, so student have some details. So that details is given by the user. So for taking user, we make so taking input from the user. So here we are using post mapping at the rate post mapping, and make a method that take input, and that method type is basically a string. So here is string, and method name is basically user input. That responsibility to take input in form of request param. So here apply at the rate request param, and that request param take input from the user, and that input is basically what type of input. So that input type is basically just like that input type is basically just like a string, like a name. So here is string name, and return to as a string. So here we are return that name to the user. So return name. So user enter name, and that name we are also return to the user in request param. Okay, so in below we take user input from the user in request body format. So here apply at the rate post mapping, make a method string type, and that method name is user input 2, and it's take value from the user in request body format, request body. So it's take value from the user in JSON format. So we here take a value from the user in student type. So student, and return value to the user that have its input in JSON format. So here extract value that enter the user. So first is string type that given the name from the user, string name, and name that name have a student, and we make also here student classes. So whatever the student send, that student is basically go to the student classes and set all the value that student sent. So we want to extract a student detail in here. So here we can say, now we can see that student object is here. So getter setter is also implemented in student classes. So here simply student dot get name. So that get the student name from the student class. Whenever student basically give the some detail from the client side, it go to the set in the student classes, and we make here a student object, and we get the student name. Not only student name, we also extract a student email. Emails is equal to student get email. Okay, and I think roll number is long roll number is equal to student roll number. Okay, and return to string. So here we return string type. So return string here. So student name is, and student name is name, and email is basically emails, and roll number is basically roll number. Yeah, so that is basically way to take input from the user in our request body. And one more lost is basically path variable. So here post mapping. Inside post mapping we make a string type method string, and user input 3. and that is basically at the rate path variable that take only the roll number. So roll number is basically long type, and here roll number, and return to the roll number not so here make as method long, because of it return the roll number as long. So here return roll number. So user input the roll number and we return the same value as input the user. So here we can see that post mapping is here also, and post mapping is still here also, post mapping is still here also. So when we hit post method, so basically our Spring Boot confused which post mapping is called by the user. So we make a endpoint is separate. We make a separate endpoint so that Spring Boot is distinguished between them. So this is our para slash para, and after that we make this post mapping as an body, so slash body, and this is basically only one that we not give the any endpoint of our URL. Okay, so open our postman. So first we say that if you have not postman, so first you download postman. Here open Google and go to the postman website. I give the link that particular website in our description. So click here download section and go to the download, and it takes some credential like email ID and name password. So give that detail, and after that install postman in your system. So open postman. So this is my postman, and I give the value as an param. So first is select param, and here the get post put method that we learned in our previous video, like get post put patch delete head and options. So we send data as post method, and inside API we make a param, and we have a key. So inside param we name, we send I think inside the param. So inside the param we send a name only. So param, inside the param we send only name, and param is not completed, only param. So send a name. So send that particular name. Sorry, we not started our Spring Boot project. So open our Spring Boot project and run Spring Boot. Okay, now open your postman and hit your URL again. So yeah, that is working, and we send a soup as a string, and server give us as a name soup. So it work. Okay, and after that we go to body section. Inside the body we select a raw format, and after that JSON. Inside the JSON we make a endpoint. Our endpoint is basically body. So here body. So we can also say that inside the param, so we make endpoint param, and inside the body we make a body in post mapping, and the body is basically take input student. Student detail means name, email and roll number. So here give that credential. Inside the body we give name in form of JSON. So first name is basically like so, and a comma, emails so at the rate 123, and one more last is basically roll number is basically 1 2 3 4 5, sorry, in JSON format 1 2 3 4 5, and send the request to the server. So here we can see that student name is basically sub, and student email is basically sub at the rate sam, and roll number is basically 1 2 3. So that all about the our body format data taken by the user, and one more last is basically the path variable. So path variable have not in the point, and path variable is basically taking value in directly value format. So here we type 3. So here 3 and hit here URL. So it's give the bad request. Server is not found. Why we are facing these issues? So open our code, and we can see here when we give the when we take a value from the path variable, we make some extra effort. So here we apply parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, we make a double quote, and after that slash and curly braces. We make a parenthesis here. So make here parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis double quoted, inside the double quoted slash and curly braces, and give the roll number is here. So here we have a roll number, and return that variable. So rerun our program and open our postman, and now slash roll number, so 220022, and send this request. So that is our outcome. Okay, so same as we can see here post mapping. So only we change here at the rate get mapping, so only change here get mapping, and same as here post put patch mapping is allowed. So let's start our program, and only we change here inside the this section, we only select the get portion, and after that hit the API. It still works same as the previously. So I think our program is not completely executed. So yeah, it's going to execution. So I think it's executed. Now we send so same as is it's done that previously done. Only the only the HTTP method is basically changes here. So here get and post is we are previously see, and put is also here working, and delete same as also the concept is working here. So that all about the input from the user. So thank you, and in our future video we are discuss about the Spring Boot architecture. That is most important topic in Spring Boot. So till then keep learning and keep exploring. Thank you.